welcome to the latest wealthmanagement.com Fast Chat. My name is Dave Janowski. I'm the Senior Technology Editor with Wealth Management. My guest today is Ted Schmelzlesd, Second Vice President and Head of Customer Operations at Security and Financial Group. Thanks for joining us today, Ted.
Pleasure to be with you.
Today, we're going to be discussing pooled employer plans. And I guess the place to stop, so what are the key considerations for financial professionals when it comes to pooled employer plans, Ted?
Well, as an industry, we have been trying to figure out pooled plans for decades. And we've had, I would say, limited success in doing so. Financial professionals have been a key role in this. Now with the advent of pooled employer plans, they've got the potential to branch out in some instances and offer services down market to plans they otherwise might not have been able to service in the past. So that's the offensive side of the fence relative to pooled employer plans for financial professionals. Defensively, those folks really do have to be prepared to meet the challenge of competition coming in and pitching a pooled employer plan and other fiduciary outsourcing type services to plans that they have in their current book. So there's also a very real defensive need to be up and ready and prepared relative to pooled employer plans. And to be honest, the reason is that PEPs have built a better mousetrap, if you will, relative to these structured plans. And the reason is there's no affiliation required. And that's something that in the past has been a bit of a hurdle for our industry, where you had to have plans that had some kind of affiliation generally to participate in a pooled arrangement. That's no longer the case with PEPs. In addition, they only need to have a single audit. So each plan underneath, each participating employer underneath a PEP does not have to have its own audit. And finally, we've got this brand new entity in a pooled plan provider. It's the first new entity in ERISA since ERISA has come onto the scene. And the pooled plan provider is the mechanism that allows the really thorough and complete fiduciary transfer of risk.
What's the no bad apple rule?
So previously, when you had a pooled arrangement, there was always the specter of one plan that might run afoul of qualification requirements or potentially ERISA requirements. And that one bad apple within the plan could taint the entire pool, thereby giving rise to the term bad apple. The Secure Act, which was passed and which enables pooled employer plans, got rid of the one bad apple rule, meaning that you now have a mechanism from a statutory standpoint to remove that bad apple from the pooled arrangement and thereby not taint the entire pool.
Now, on the other side of the equation, what would employers find appealing about a PEP plan?
So PEPs are very appealing to employers. And honestly, at this point, it's coming in at many different levels. So that is, we're seeing traction with PEPs from startups to plans that are really at or right around the audit threshold, and those that are significantly over the audit threshold. And the reason is because you really have within a pooled employer plan what is, in many estimations, the very highest degree of fiduciary and administrative risk transfer. You've got a suite of professionally managed investment options. Generally, PEPs have, along with them, a 338 investment advisor. Also, you have the outsourcing of management, the time that management would otherwise have to expend for their plan. So it really is a cost savings for employers. The more that you have the administrative risk transfer and the administrative duties transfer, the less that work consumes on the employer's part. Finally, when you're putting all of this together, you really are talking about a package that at the end of the day is going to be on par or cost less with a similarly situated plan that was underwritten on an individual basis. And so you also have some very concrete cost savings that can be brought to bear. You also find that available in the audit cost savings, because for a PEP plan, you only have one audit at the PEP level. Each individual participating employer is not audited themselves.
All right. Well, how about, can you tell me some of the key differentiators of the Securian financial PEP plan?
Absolutely. So we were very excited about the opportunities the PEPs presented. And the reason is that we had always underwritten our business on the individual plan side with a view towards administrative and fiduciary risk transfer, service excellence, and really the highest degree of fiduciary protection that we could provide in the industry. We adopted those same attributes, and that's how we envisioned and built our pooled employer plan product. We did so by providing a very flexible plan design for PEPs. We know the industry has been trying to put 401k plans in a box for a long time, meaning that employers had, in some offerings, have very little choice on key attributes of the plan. The reason being that the record keeper, by doing so, lowered its cost with variabilities between plans. We know from past experience that those 401k plans in a box really don't work well. Because our plans in our industry is so rich in choice and there are so many different options, it became an impediment to really widespread adoption of pooled plans. So one thing that we thought at Securian was we wanted to bring the highest degree of plan design flexibility that we could, and do so, as I said, based on the service history that we have built over our decades in the record keeping business. Secondly, we wanted to make sure that we were paying attention to the needs of financial professionals, because at the end of the day, we are in a financial professional assisted model, meaning our business is dependent and reliant on working with these folks and to assure that they've got a valuable offering that they can bring to bear. So we do have white label capabilities for pooled employer plans, meaning we can work with financial professionals and their various shops to bring out PEPs that are specific relative to their offering and their clientele, which really does give a competitive advantage for them in the market.
Well, thanks, Ted. That's very informative. It's an interesting new wrinkle in this part of the advisory world. And folks, that's about all the time we have today. I've been speaking with Ted Schmelzlesd. He's the second vice president and head of customer operations with Securian Financial Group. For more information, visit securian.com, and thank you for joining us today.